Hello, my name is Amit Thakre and I am from Department of Criminology, Raksha Shakti University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. The title of this module is Moral Disengagement Theory and Cybercrime. In this module, we are going to understand what moral disengagement theory talks about, and progressively we will relate it with criminal behavior in cyberspace. As we are going to focus on another interesting aspect here, the decision making of cybercriminal based on moral disengagement theory. The important objectives of this module are to understand moral disengagement theory, to link moral disengagement theory with criminal behavior in cyberspace, to study contributing components of moral disengagement theory from the perspective of cybercriminal, to understand decision making of cybercriminal based on moral disengagement theory. The important learning outcomes are, after finish reading this module, the reader shall learn about the psychological process of a criminal based on the foundation of moral disengagement theory, the psychology of a cybercriminal from the perspective of moral disengagement theory. Also, the reader will know about the psychological pressure behind cybercriminal due to contributing component of this moral disengagement theory. Now, starting from the introduction, computer criminals, often mistakenly referred to as hackers, that have defended their actions as being ethical and attempt to justify their behavior in terms of serving some higher moral function. Some computer criminals subscribe to the notion of ends justifying the means. These individuals assume that the ends of their activities are ethical, therefore their activities are ethical. This is an interesting and somewhat convoluted line of reasoning and assumes that one can truly know and understand all the consequences of one's action. This is extremely hard, if not impossible, especially in an immature area such as the internet and computer technology. The second half of 20th century has become known as the information revolution, and information technology now touches almost every aspect of life and has become the backbone for telecommunications, finance, governments, healthcare, education, and entire infrastructure has been built to support information technology, that is high-speed network, backbones, fiber optics, etc. And advances in information technology such as internet have effectively erased economic borders and introduced the concept of global community. The information revolution has also brought with it some unique social, moral, and legal problems. As with other advances, the staggering growth of information technology has outpaced society's ability to govern and possibly understands its implications. The growth rate of the internet alone is staggering. In July of 1999, it was estimated that there are approximately 16 million host computers attached to the internet. It has been predicted that by the year 2000, it will be 200 million host computer attached. The world of information technology is unique in that it is without borders, and to date there is no clear delineation of jurisdiction. Information technology has opened the doors for the dissemination of information and the sharing of ideas. However, a certain negative element has arisen, that is using information technology for vandalism, fraudulent activities, espionage, terrorism, revenge, perversion, and other criminal activities. With society's increasing dependence on computer systems, the consequences of computer crimes can be extremely grave. Many psychologists explain the causes of criminal behavior hidden in psychological processes. One of such prominent psychologists is Albert Bandura, who propounded this theory of moral disengagement to explain the psychological process behind criminal conduct. According to this theory, just before committing the crime, the criminal detaches himself consciously from the morality, and detachment is due to realizations that seemingly justify criminal conduct. This phase of detachment is temporary in nature by putting oneself in a state of mind where inhuman conduct is justified without any follow-through, leading to self-condemnation. Commonly, people act in a way that gives them a sense of self-worth and satisfaction. This feeling of self-satisfaction comes when a person regulates himself as per internalized moral standards. The process of regulating self may not always be active because it is dependent on external and internal processes. The process of selective activation of self-regulation leads to diversity in people's behavior. Individuals who are engaging in illegal computer activity have developed a certain mystique. They are commonly portrayed by themselves and the media as modern day Robin Hoods, who are performing a valued function for society. There has been numerous articles, editorials, interviews and web pages that state that without hackers there would be no or very ineffective information security. Interviewed hackers contend that they are the watchdogs, keeping a vigilant eye on the unscrupulous vendors and tyrannical governments. There are certain publications as well that carry editorial justifying the sometimes illegal activity of hackers and urging other individuals, especially youths, to join the cause. As per Bandura, moral disengagement happens through moral justification, euphemistic labeling, advantageous comparison, displacing responsibility, disregard for injurious, and finally, dehumanizing the victim. The fact that computer criminals need to justify their aberrant behavior in terms of fulfilling some higher societal needs can be understood in the context of social cognitive theory and psychological concept of moral disengagement. Social cognitive theory attempts to explain how individuals who are engaged in aberrant behavior justify their activities. According to the theory, people tend to refrain from behaving in ways that violate their moral standards. Moral reasoning is translated into action through what Bandura termed self-regulatory mechanisms through which moral agency is exercised. In other words, people refrain from behaving in a manner that violates their moral standards because behaving would bring self-censor. Moral agency consists of self-regulatory system that operates through three major sub-functions. The sub-functions are self-monitoring, judgmental, and self-reactive. The first step to exercise control over one's conduct is self-monitoring. Actions given rise to self-reaction through a judgmental function in which the individual's conduct is evaluated against their internal standards and situational circumstances. The theory states that there are four major points in self-regulatory system at which internal moral control can be separated from detrimental conduct. An individual can disengage self-sanctions by reconstructing the conduct, obscuring the personal causal agency, misrepresenting or disregarding the negative consequences of the action, vilifying the victims, and maltreating them by blaming and devaluing them. People do not usually engage in reprehensible conduct unless they have justified to themselves the rightness of their actions. The process of moral justification allows for detrimental conduct to be made personally and socially acceptable by portraying it in the service of valued social or moral purposes. According to the theory, language plays an important role in shaping an individual's perception of his or her actions. Reprehensible conduct can be masked by euphemistic language, and in some cases it can allow the conduct to be seen as respectable. The individual can be relieved of sense of personal agency by convoluted variables. Reprehensible conduct can also be masked by comparison to other more injurious behavior. The advantageous or palliative comparison is more effective when more flagrant activities are used in the comparison. Self-censor can be minimized by disregarding or distorting the consequences of an action. Ignoring the detrimental consequences of the actions, as in selective inattention or through cognitive distortion, reduces the feeling of guilt. The last set of disengagement practices focuses on recipient of acts. Self-censor can be disengaged or weakened by stripping the victim of human attributes. Dehumanizing results in victim being viewed as subhuman and not as a person with feelings. Blaming the victim or circumstances is another effective method that decreases self-censor. In moral disengagement by attribution of blame, perpetrators view themselves as victims who were provoked. The perpetrator's action now becomes construed as defensive. The victim gets blamed and accused of bringing the actions upon themselves. Using the moral disengagement as foundation, one can hypothesize that hackers and computer criminals are employing moral disengagement mechanisms in an attempt to reduce self-censor. Several studies and articles quote hackers as stating that their activities are purely an intellectual activity and that information should be freely available to everyone. Individuals engaged in criminal computer activity routinely minimize or misconstrue the consequences. These individuals have stated that they have never intentionally damaged any files and that besides, companies have or should have backup their data and systems. Other individuals dehumanize the victim and refer to them as terms such as multinational corporations or just networks and systems. They usually do not comment on the impact to the end users and system administrators, the cost of potential customers or the long-term effects. Now, what are the contributing components of moral disengagement theory? As per Symantec International Security Threat Report of 2017, India accounts for 5% of cyber terror attack in the world, which is only behind 4 other countries who are United States, China and Brazil. As per the Symantec report, the rate of the email containing malicious links have reached all-time high compared to past 5 years, which led to increase in number of ransom cases, that is around increase of 266% in last 5 years. Hacking led to leaking of 1.1 billion identities in the year 2016. The report also stated that on an average, nearly 400 businesses are targeted by hackers every day across the world. The spike in cybercrime in last few years is a cause of major concern and needs to be researched well. The key lies in understanding the behavior of cybercriminal, which shall render ways to implement appropriate interventions. Moral disengagement theory is one such theory that assists in understanding the behavior of cybercriminal through its various contributing components. The contributing components of moral disengagement theory are described from the perspective of cybercrime. Moral justification. Bandura suggested that morally justifying the act of violating or self-regulation is the first step of a psychological process in moral disengagement theory. For example, harassing someone in social media because of victim's different opinion as against popular political scenario. Harassing and targeting such person also seem acceptable to a majority of people. In cyberspace, victimization is rampant and obvious where there is a conflict between ideologies pertaining to various issues like religion, nationalism or sexual preferences. The interesting pattern is moral disengagement theory then moves on from individual level to mass level where cyberspace starts forming public opinion, resulting in masses to morally justify their wrongful behaviors. Kathleen in 1998 analyzed the process of structuring of public opinion and found that there are 4 factors that act as a source to moral disengagement at masses level and which could also be applied to cyber crimes happening in cyberspace. Now, what are these 4 factors? They are susceptible to deception, weak possibility of assessing truth due to lack of non-verbal signs, intensive targeting of non-conforming individuals due to judgmental bias, and affluent subcultures that weakens public moral standards. Moral agency is manifested in both the power to refrain from behaving inhumanly and the proactive power to behave humanly. Moral agency is embedded in a broader socio-cognitive self-theory encompassing self-organizing, proactive, self-reflective and self-regulatory mechanism rooted in personal standards which are linked to self-sanctions. The self-regulatory mechanisms governing moral conduct do not come into play unless they are activated, and there are many psychological maneuvers by which moral self-sanctions are selectively disengaged from inhuman conduct. The moral disengagement may center on the cognitive restructuring of inhuman conduct into a benign or worthy one by moral justification, sanitizing language and advantageous comparisons. Disavowal of a sense of personal agency by diffusion or displacement of responsibility, disregarding or minimizing the injurious effects of one's action and attribution of blame to and dehumanization of those who are victimized. Many inhumanities operate through a supportive network of legitimate enterprises run by otherwise considerate people who contribute to destructive activities by disconnected subdivision of functions and diffusion of responsibility. Given the many mechanisms for disengaging moral control, civilized life requires, in addition to human personal standards, safeguards built into social systems that uphold compassionate behavior and renounce cruelty. All these factors are reinforcing in nature. These are the agents for justifying immoral activities in cyberspace. It could be ascertained that people easily conforming to social arbitrary demands are more vulnerable to moral justifications. This opens up debate for a scope for moral justification for people with high moral principles. It appears that the reason behind aggression of victims with high moral principles of cybercrime is their reverting back at times when their identity is challenged. Now coming back to euphemistic labeling, euphemism means mild or pleasant word or phrase that is used instead of one that is unpleasant or offensive. Social networking sites serve as a garden for growing euphemistic subculture. It is a common practice by internet users to use euphemistic language to describe something wrongful. This is another way used by internet users to morally disagree with their principles. Regarding some serious social issues, adults usually express themselves aggressively by rephrasing, and this makes them feel liberated from remorse. The increased frequency of such behavior in short frames of time leads to trolling of targeted individuals, which might have severe consequences also on victims' life. It appears that language sanitation has become an order of the day. Severe acts of aggression are mellowed down through euphemism on social media to favorably mold public opinion. If you look at recent issues in public discourse, religious sentiments are exaggerated and portrayed to be under attack from other religion. Such tactics are used and found to be effective on social networking sites. And because of this, mass connectivity, which have led to divide among people, the implication of this divide is evident in recent attacks on minority segment in India. The implication of euphemism subculture in virtual space might result in severe form of mass victimization in real life as well. What is advantageous comparison? In this psychological mechanism, the individual compares his own wrongful act with other bigger immoral behavior. This way, the individual lower self-regulation by making his own act comparatively less wrongful. This psychological process may also be adopted by hackers who might justify their act as less harmful as compared to mass casualties happening across the world over. The crime in cyberspace could possibly be an outcome of utilitarian standards. For example, a cyber terrorist may choose to deface a government website in order to send across a political message, thinking that it is better way to propagate an ideology without causing any loss of human lives. These are certain forms of cybercrime wherein commonalities could be seen in terms of advantageous comparisons. For instance, in cases of cyberbullying harassment, cyberstalking, or labeling in social networking sites to defame an individual. The cyber criminal may justify these actions by gauging them as less harmful as compared to inflicting physical harm to the victim. The various types of cyberbullying are harassment, cyberstalking, flaming, that means expressing annoyance, denigration, which is unfairly criticizing someone, exclusion, outlaying, trickery, and impersonation. Displacement of responsibility. The functionality of this mechanism depends on offender's ability to distort the connection between his actions and its consequences. Under this part, the distortion is also justified by viewing the actions as legitimate under the authority. Here, the authority shows the tendency to take responsibility for individuals' wrongful actions. The authority would create a sense of solidarity and emphasize on cumulative devotedness towards authority's objectives, henceforth diminishing the wrongful act by an individual. State-sponsored cyber attacks on a rival country are one such example where the cyber criminal do not feel as the true agent, rather takes his action as a contribution to authority. Such kind of thought process saves the cyber criminal from self-condemnation. The same psychological mechanism could be applied to state-sponsored terrorism or an organized human or drug trafficking gang which is operating online. The aforementioned organizations would employ devoted functionaries. The organization would create a subculture in which an individual would not have to worry about the consequences of his or her actions, because the organization here takes the responsibility for it. This further intensifies employees' devotion towards authorities. Next aspect is disregard for injurious consequences. Showing disregard for harm caused to other due to personal action is a way of disengaging self from moral principles. Jaishankar in 2008 in his space transition theory explained about the behavior relating to repressed criminality emerging in cyberspace. Second postulate of this theory states that it is the identity, flexibility, anonymity and low deterrence that motivate the offender to commit crime in cyberspace, and in such scenario it is easier to disengage self from the plight of the victim. Bandura in 1999 also supports the idea of relative convenience for offender to commit crime when its consequences are not visible. In cybercrimes, the anonymity between victim and offender removes the factor of personal responsibility from the offender's psychology by keeping offender unaware of the harms faced by the victim. Next factor of this theory is dehumanizing the victim. The offender tend to view victim without human attributes. The victim is objectified as subhuman. Dehumanizing the victim makes it easier for the offender to validate wrongful treatment of the victim. It may also happen that a particular individual or a group may be excluded from the mainstream by justifying immoral acts towards them. Zhang and all in 2014 further illustrated on human attributes that are majorly neglected by offender when he thinks of victim. These attributes could be unique to the individual in terms of its rationality, demeanor or attitude, or it could be characteristics like caring, emotional or openness to ideas. In cyberspace, dehumanization could be exaggerated to group level, wherein one social in-group may treat other as non-human out-group with inferior human qualities. Such animal-like treatment by in-group members makes them less compassionate towards out-group, and it also increases the propensity of victimization of out-group by the in-group. In a research conducted by Young and al. In 2007, it was inferred that hackers continue to engage in illegal hacking activities despite their perception of severe judicial punishment. That the hackers perceive a high utility value from hacking, little informal sanctions and a low likelihood of punishment. These perceptions, coupled with a high level of moral disengagement, partially explains the hackers' illegal behavior in cyberspace. Cybercrime is often traditional crime, example fraud, identity theft, child pornography, albeit executed swiftly and to vast number of potential victims, as well as unauthorized access, damaged and inferred to computer system. Most detrimental are malicious and exploit codes that interrupt computer operations on a global scale and along with other cybercrimes threatening e-commerce. The cross-national nature of most computer-related crimes have rendered many time-honored methods of policing, both domestically and in cross-border situations, ineffective even in advanced nations, while the digital divide provides safe havens for cybercriminal. Researchers have shown that computer criminals have justified their actions by calling it an act for fulfilling higher moral principles, or cyber criminals justify their means to reach an aim. To reach these aims, the cyber criminal use information technology for committing espionage, fraud, cyber terrorism, online-offline harassment, perversion, and other crimes in cyberspace. The cyber criminal might also find solace in subculture wherein the acts of cybercrime are equated with being an watchdog, vigilant, doing social service, holding government accountable. Moral disengagement theory explains the behavior of hackers and cyber criminals who see their act as activism for open access to information for all. The persona of being a Robin Hood in cyberspace is acquired by majority of cyber criminals, and this avatar is in turn promoting cyber terrorism and white collar crimes having real life implications on victims. Moral disengagement theory can be used to understand the behavior of a cyber criminal with special reference to social networking sites. The subculture in cyberspace is fertile for promoting palliative comparisons or euphemistic labeling. Even though there are detrimental effects associated with such reprehensible conduct, the cyber criminal justifies his or her actions by minimizing or ignoring the consequences. When it comes to victimization, the offender detaches himself from the victim by dehumanizing the attributes of victim or place the blame on the victim. To conclude this module, the threat is incredibly serious and growing. Cyber illusions are becoming more commonplace, more dangerous, and more sophisticated. Citizens are targeted by fraudsters and identity thieves, and children are targeted by online predators. Beyond the cause that motivates criminal, the environment in which cyber criminal is committed also serves to explain the prevalence of this phenomena. While more and more personal and sensitive information is stored online, increasing the potential rewards for cyber criminals, neither computer security nor applications like email filters have improved dramatically in terms of coverage for cyber security. Recent years have shown sudden surge in masses relying on information technology that also lead to increase in number of cyber crimes. As per Symantec report on cyber security threats, it takes only 2 minutes for an hacker to attack Internet of Things that could have dreadful impact on lives of millions of people relying on the network services. The psychology of cyber criminal is intrigue and needs to be reviewed from the lenses of criminological theories. What makes a cyber criminal to cause harm in virtual world, even that do not involve monetary benefit from the criminal? How a cyber criminal manages to ignore the psychological impact left over the victim? Such question could be answered by moral disengagement theory only. Moral disengagement theory explains the behavior of a cyber criminal. Interestingly, using moral disengagement theory to explain cyber criminal form a unique linkage of cause and effect between the decision made in real life by the offender with the consequences resulting from action done in virtual world. The mechanism of moral disengagement in cyberspace happens through justifying the act of cybercrime, which involves euphemistic labeling in social networking sites, advantageous comparisons, displacing responsibility, having no regard for the victim's feelings, and dehumanizing the feelings of the victim. Thank you for watching.